How I would SEO rank a plumber. If you're a local business, you need a Google business profile. It's free. If someone tells you not to get one, fire them. Get a second one, but more on that later. So you're setting up a business profile for your service or product. Do people come to you or do you go to people? If people come to me, as an example, if I was a laundromat owner, you have to show the business address so that people can get directions to the laundromat so that they can come and clean their laundry. If I offer a product or service like a plumber where I go to people's homes and provide the service, I unclog toilets or there's a leak, fix the leak or in the pipe, I have to go on site to their location. Also, showing the address helps you rate. Now, if you go to people and have a commercial location, set up a show location Google business profile as an example. So let's go back to the plumber. If I'm a plumber, I go to people's homes, I have this commercial location. You're gonna want to show the address on the commercial location. It'll help you rank higher. How to SEO a plumber's Google My Business. First things first, search your keyword. What do we see? Locating competitors, what are they currently doing? Now, if you don't have a lot of competition, search a more competitive city. And here's a tip. If you're wanting to look at a city or area you're not currently at or close to, put the city and state in the search term. So here's an example. I'm looking in Pace, Florida for a plumber. What are the names of the Google business profiles currently ranking? Here we can see we've got Pace Plumbing. Then we also have Apex Plumbing. We can see we should have our keyword in the Google business profile name. But first, is this a ranking factor true across multiple business niches? So I searched DUI lawyer Los Angeles. You can see here, the first Google My Business profile is DUI attorney Los Angeles. And now here for HVAC company Miami, we can see a very similar thing. We've got air conditioning company. Below them, we have air conditioning. And below their profile, we have air conditioning corp. Now, in these examples, for the air conditioning, they don't necessarily have HVAC company in the profile's name, but what we can see is that because they have a sub level of the top level keyword in Google business profile name, that is also something that we want to do. Just to explain it, air conditioning is below HVAC. It's just a subset of that top level keyword of that category. Now, back to our competition. What are they doing on their Google My Businesses to rank? And so what we're going to do is we're going to click on Pace Plumbing Inc., the one that's ranking number 1 currently. So on their Google My Businesses, what are they doing to rank? So you look at this profile and all of these arrows are pointing to all different factors and what they're doing on their profile. So let's go into, so here below, they have their service area listed. As we can see here, serves Santa Rosa County and nearby areas. Then they also have a description. Now, for their service area listed, if we were to click on that, we would see a list of areas that they serve. And that's what also we want to do on our profile. So now we're also going to look at their services and their categories. You can see here using all this Plumber Chrome extension, which I highly recommend, we can see way more information on this profile. Now we can see that they have 41. They have 41 services listed. So we want a lot of services listed on our Google My Business profile too, with descriptions and variations of the keywords. So here at the bottom, what we can see is They have water heater installation, they have water softener installation, and they have water softening and filtration system. These are all just variations of the top level keyword, which would be water installation or water softener installation, right? Or you have water softener or water heater. Then by adding the installation to it, we have a variation. So now you want your top level service that you offer to be your main category. You want to best match what you do. So if you're a plumber, you'd want your top level category to be plumber. Now, they have 4 categories. If you actually offer these categories, then have them listed on your Google My Business profile, but make sure that they're subcategories. They're not your main category. Now, if you are a bathroom remodeler, then have that as your main category. But if you're a plumber, plumber. Also, for their 4th category, plumbing supply store, I would personally remove. You want everything on the Google My Business profile to be filled out, even the attributes. So here we can see 10 of their attributes. So they've got an accessibility, amenities, offerings, payments, and service options. When you go to fill out your profile, you want to make sure you scroll all the way down to the bottom and you find those and you click if you have them or not. Also on their Google My Business profile, they have their website linked. So should we. They have their number listed on the profile. So should we. Now, what we can see on their profile is that we can get directions, which means that they have a physical address verified. So that means we need to have one too. They've also got photos, and they have photos of different services, as we can see here. On the right side, Google has taken it upon itself to go and understand what's in the photos and then categorize them based on the profile. We can see here that there's a category for bathroom and pipes. Now, on their profile, they're missing an appointment link. We can add one pointing to the contact page or the home page. If you don't have an appointment setting software, don't worry. Still, just in the appointment link location, set it to your home page or your contact page on your website. Now, when we're scrolling down on the Google Business profile, we also want to make sure that we're filling out our social profiles. If you don't have any, then leave it blank. But if you do, make sure we're listing all of them. You got Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn, Threads, whatever you have them on, list them. Even if you have them on Pinterest. But also, we want to make sure our hours are filled out and listed. Do not lie. If you get caught lying about your hours, you could lose the Google My Business profile. It could get suspended. Now, there's this big myth that you can't have multiple Google My Business profiles. If someone tells you this, you need to fire them. We can see here in the screenshot, this company has 3. So now we need multiple Google My Business profiles. Here's an easier way to visualize. All 3 of these Google Business profiles, or GMBs, are in Fort Myers, and they're all owned by the same company. They're probably printing cash right now. So now, what do we notice about these profiles? Look at how far they are distanced from each other. Google My Business profiles start to drop out of search around the 4 to 5 mile radius from the profile. Now, this can also be heavily dependent on how competitive the area is, but in this example, these profiles are at the perfect distance from each other. So not only can they rank near the profile in 3 locations, in between locations, you can take up to 2 spots in search. Now you're probably saying, seriously? Yeah, look at this. It's not. Imagine someone searches, they're not paying too much attention to the business name, or even if they are paying attention, someone searches and looks at the top 3, and you have 2 of the 3 spots. You're pretty. It's Not even fair. It's not a competition. So if you'd like help getting your Google My Business profile optimized, visit this URL. I've helped local businesses scale from 10K a month to 30K a month. Now, next, how to SEO a plumber's website. So first things first, we're going to look in the search and we're going to see how to research competitors' SEO. Why? We need to see what's currently ranking to determine how many ranking factors to use and how much of each ranking factor to use on our pages. So here's a list of ranking factors to check your competitor's sites for. We've got number of times a keyword is on page, keywords in the title tag, meta description, H1, H2, H3, 4, 5, and 6. Now, the word count on page, different types of HTML tags used on page. So we've got heading tags, listicle tags, paragraphs, and alt equals. Alt equals is just the alt text on an image. Then we also have the keyword variations in HTML tags. We also have a diversity of ranking factors. Now, there's over 100,000 different ranking factors. I won't be covering all of them. So, to rank in Google, what should the word count of your page be? And in these screenshots, we can see we've got a wide range from 690 to 3,225. Now let's find out the amount of word count we need. So we're going to search our keyword and we're going to click on the ranking websites. So first place has 2,143. Now what about the others? This information comes from a great Chrome extension, Ahrefs. I highly recommend it. So as we can see here in the screenshots, we've got 2,143. We've got 3,225. We've got 894, 1,925. And then the last one is 619. So what are we going to do with all of this? We're going to take all of these word counts and we're going to add them up for a total of 8,806 words across 5 pages. Now we're going to average them out. And the average comes out to 1,761. Now, we want to be slightly better than average, so our target word count will be 1,800. Now, how many times are your competitors using keywords? Here in these screenshots, we can see plumbing being used 23 times, 124 times, 332 times, and then this crazy one, 699. So let's find out how many times to use the keywords. First thing we're going to do is search our keyword, and then we're going to look at the ranking websites. We're going to click and open them. We're going to right click on the page. We're going to click view page source. Now, don't get scared. This is the code. Don't worry. Just hit Control. This will drop down. Then type in your keyword. The keyword for this is plumbing, and this already on this page got 89 results. Okay. So the first place has plumbing 332 times. Now, what about the others? One quick thing I want to touch on before going forward is this myth that you can only use a keyword a certain amount of times. More often than not, if someone sets these hard set fast rules, like you can only use a keyword 100 times, you can easily go and search certain keywords and find examples that break these. And this is why I always say that you need to look at what's currently ranking, what somebody told you. So the amount of times a keyword is used on the plumbing pages is we've got one with 332, another one with 89, and then we have this crazy one 699 times. We've got one using it 23 times, and then another one using plumbing 124 times. So now what are we going to do with all of these? We're going to add them up for a total of 1,267 keywords across pages. Now we're going to average them out to 253. So what we're going to do is then we're going to use that slightly above average. So I would say use it around 270 times. Now, are your competitors using keywords in the title tag, meta description, H1, H2, H3, 4, 5, or 6? Let's find out. So what we're going to do is we're going to search the keyword in search, and then we're going to click on the top ranking websites. We're going to use the Ahrefs Chrome extension to show us the content structure on page. So now we're looking at the content structure of the page, and we can see here that this one is using plumber in the title. And in the description, they have a keyword variation. They've got plumbing. They also have plumbing services. And then we can also see plumbing solutions. We can look at their H1 plumbing experts. On this other page, we can see that our H1 is Pace Plumber, which is another variation. We also have got local plumbing and then plumbing company, and then local company, plumbing company. So next, we're going to look at these other websites, and we can see they've got plumbing in their title tag, plumbing offers in their description, and in their headings, we got Florida plumbing. H2, they got plumbing again. And on this page, the top 10 best plumbers in Pace, which is the city we were searching. And then in the description, they've got plumbers in Pace. H1, top plumbers in Pace. So we can see that they are using these in these locations or these HTML tags across the page. So we can see that they have the keyword in the title tag, meta description, H1, H2, H3, but not one of them has it in an H5 or H6, which is interesting. So there is 4 ranking factors we can easily beat them on. Now, wait, how is it 4? Well, having an H5 is a ranking factor. Having an H6 tag is a ranking factor as well. Now, if we have both and a keyword in each, then we have 5. So then we have H5 plus keyword. Same thing happens for the H6. 4 more ranking factors. Now, how many different HTML tags are your competitors using? Down here, we can see we got someone using a list once, paragraphs 18, alt equals text, H tags 23. There's over 130 HTML tags. We'll be covering all of them. So let's find out. First thing we're going to do is we're going to search in Google our keyword, and we're going to look at all of our competitors and see how many times they're using different HTML tags on pages. So we're going to right click on the page. We're going to go to view page source, and then this is the code. So don't worry, we're going to just Control F, and then this little thing will drop down, and then we'll type in the HTML tag. So headings, listicles, paragraph tags. We also have alt equals, which is the alt text on an image. Now, across all 5 sites, here are the results. So for the paragraph tags, we got 18002880 for a total of 46. Then the alt equals with 202160, which is a total of 20. Each tag, which has been used 23 times, 2 times, 59 times, 2 times, 16 times for a total of 102. And then we also have the list tags, which is 15000. And so for a total of 6. Now, what are we going to do? We're going to then divide those by the total amount of pages we've viewed, which is 5. And then we're going to average these out so then we know how to beat our competition. Now, just because we do this doesn't mean we'll read. This is a few ranking factors out of a couple 100,000. Now, this sounds like a lot, and it is. There's over 130 different HTML tags. If you don't want to deal with this, I offer SEO services. Here's the link to visit. I've helped local businesses scale from 10K a month, 30K a month. So next, how to find the keyword variations to use on your page. So what we're going to do is we're going to search our keyword in Google. Now we're going to look at the bolded terms in the search. So here we can see offers emergency plumbing. So there's a keyword variation. We got drain cleaning and water cleanup services. Here, plumbing, another one, plumbing, expert plumbing. And then also they've got expert plumbing services. So then next, why? Why are we looking at these Google bolded terms? Google is bolding these variations terms for a reason. It thinks that they are relevant to the search term, so we want them on our page. Okay. Now we have a list of all of these different keyword variations we need on page. So in the screenshots here, we got near me, we've got plumbing, we've got complaints, we've got plumbers Milton, plumbers Pensacola, we got plumbing reviews. We've also got water heater, water treatment, link plumbing. We also got pump, which is interesting. Emergency toilets, pipes, sewers, sump pump, garbage disposals. Now, how many of these keyword variations do we want to use and where? We want to use these slightly higher than our competition a majority of the time in heading tags. I'm not saying to only put them in heading tags. You need to have these terms across the page in your listicle tags, your P tags, in your title tag, and meta description. We want these terms across the entire page we're trying to rank. Now, deal set is that you have the title tag that has the keyword plus keyword variation. Also, in your meta description, it has the keyword and a keyword variation. Your H1 has a main keyword, your H2 has a main keyword variation, then your H3 has a keyword variation. And for the H4, 5, and 6, you also want a keyword variation in there. Also, we want to include the area we serve. So a keyword variation of that would be Pace, Florida plumbing, or another variation is Pace, Florida plumber. We also include area plus service variations. So Pace, water heater plumbing, Pace, water heater installation plumber, right? Do this across all of your service pages and your location pages. Now, a location page gets more location variations. A service page should get more service variations. Now, this sounds like a lot. It could be over 100 different variations. If you don't want to deal with this, I offer SEO services. Here's the link to visit. I've helped local businesses scale from 10K a month, 30K a month. Now, the number one SEO ranking factor across everything, every business niche, literally everything, is a diversity of ranking factors. The diversity of ranking factors you use will help you rank higher and longer than everyone else. Longer, more on that later. So in this example, this site didn't diversify. We can see the first red arrow where it lost a majority of its traffic, then it regained it, it was a little bit higher, and then on the back end, it lost it all. Now, when a ranking factor lost power, so did the site. Now, for the sake of illustrating a point, using this Google search data, this Google Search Console, it may not have been the reason why the site fell. When you go too heavy in a ranking factor, Google changes algorithm. It gives that ranking factor and gives that ranking factor less of a boost, then there goes your site. Now, this is a double-edged sword. Wait, what? So, what if instead the ranking factor you're heavy in doesn't lose its boost, but instead a different ranking factor gets a boost? Then the same thing could still happen. Because you weren't well diversified, when something you like gets a boost, you'll also feel it. What happens is that your competitors will start to beat you out. And then let's say that enough of your competitors start to use it. Then you can just keep going down and down on the pages. You can even go to page 2, 3, 4, or 5, or anything past page 1 doesn't really exist. This is where it gets really hard to describe SEO. Not only can ranking factors change as a whole, the ranking factors for your search or your search engine results page, they can change for everyone. So your search engine results page is kind of similar to just searching for like pizza near me. All of those Google My Business profiles and all of those URLs that you can click on can change. So what does this mean? So for your niche, not only factors can change, for all of search factors can change. So one day pages with factor across all of search get a boost. One day for news articles, as an example, having author card schema is the biggest possible boost. Okay, Chris, this sounds impossible to figure out. Well, you can always look at what's currently ranking to get an idea of what to do. And if you have historical knowledge, you can know what's ranked previously. Okay, so hopefully I explained that enough. We want a diversity of ranking factors, and we want to beat our competition too. This is where having knowledge of not only the ranking factors, but how to identify them in search, but also having historical knowledge comes in handy. We can watch and see what's coming into play, what's coming out of play, and something that's hilarious, that's some factors died will get revived and be the new thing. So now there's over 100,000 ranking factors. The one who is most diversified in the right areas will rank higher and longer. Now, if you're not sure what factors you're lacking in or too heavy in, visit my website. I'll help you with my done-for-you SEO services. I've helped local businesses scale from 10K a month to 10K a month. Now, internal linking structure and how I would do it for a plumber. So we need to have every page reachable in 3 clicks, kind of like this. Now, this looks confusing. Give me a second to explain. We want every page on our site or URL to be discoverable in 3 clicks. Now, why? Because if you have one page orphaned, then Google will hardly find it, crawl it. What do you mean, hardly find it? So Google will come by and crawl page 1 in this example, then find all the URLs listed on that page and put those into Google's queue to go and crawl it. After Google puts it in its queue to crawl, once Google finally gets around to crawling that page, it will then find all the pages on, it will then find all the URLs on page 1, right? So it will find the URLs 2, 3, and 4 in this example. After it crawls all of those pages 2, 3, and 4, it will then queue all the URLs discovered on that page. So in this example, it will only find a new URL on page 3. So then it will queue that URL to go and crawl, which is page 5. Now, this queuing process could take days before it even finds your page 5. It could be 3 or 4 days. It could even be longer or less time. It could also decide not to come by at all. If you have such a low X factor, Google could not come by and crawl the page at all. Okay, so let's say we waited a few days, it crawled page 5. Now, after it crawls page 5 and gets the list of all the URLs again, it queues page 6. So let's say we got lucky, it went through the queue, found page 6, crawled it 4 days later. For simplicity, it took 8 or so days for Google to find out page 6. Or we could have a way better interlinking structure so we don't have to wait that long. Also, process of 8 days could happen every time Google comes and crawls the main page. Wait, so if I updated the SEO on page 6, 1, Google may never see it, and 2, it could take 8+ days for Google to see it. Yep, this is why you want a good linking structure. Now, what we want to do is have hubs. So this is a blog hub with blogs listed on the page. This way, after Google crawls the homepage, which has a link to the blog hub, it will come by and crawl all these blog URLs at once and place them in the queue. We can also do this for service pages, and we can also do this for location pages. Now, what does that mean? Is you could have a service page links individually to each of your service pages. We could also do this for a locations page. You have a location hub page, which then links to all your different location pages. Something to consider is the customer journey on these pages. We can optimize for them, but also let's keep the hub simple. It's just for listing URLs on page. Not to be rude, but Google doesn't care the styling of this page. We just want the crawler to find all the URLs. Now, so we have an understanding of interlinking for helping with crawl depth and Google finding our new pages. And when we update a page, they know sooner. Let's talk about how interlinking these pages can actually help the page we're linking to rank. So let's start with how interlinking can point to Google to a page. If all of our blog content and services link to a locations page, like in this example, let's say that this locations page is the main city we're trying to rank in, then this is an example, not how you should do it. And what I mean by that is I'm just trying to illustrate a point. This is not exactly how you should do it. This will cause Google, every time it comes by and crawls those pages, to place that URL of our locations in queue to crawl. Not only will Google crawl this page more often, but also any changes we make are updated in Google way faster. Also, the anchor text we use to link to this page is a ranking factor. The linking itself is a ranking factor and will help rank this location page. So in our internal linking structure, we want all pages to be found in 3 clicks. We want to link to the pages that we are pushing to rank. So like your locations page. Now, if you're unsure about your interlinking structure, visit this URL. I'll help you with my done for you services. And I've helped local businesses scale from 10K a month to 30K a month. And that's how I would rank a plumber.